Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Sally Jack's TV Mom. This was 48 hours in London, what we got up to, and also Frankie Jack visiting the TV studios, the live TV studios where I work. He's been there once before, but only when he was, I think, around about 2 or 3 years old. So obviously takes it in a little bit more now he's 7. So let's have a look what we got up to. There's some tips and tricks that you might want to do with the kids over maybe half term or the summer period. This was done a fair few months ago. It's just taken me a while just to edit it, but obviously the things are still the same and you get to see what we got up to for 48 hours. So here it is. For the start of the trip, Frankie Jack joined us at our studios, and you can see the red lights on, so they're already recording. So we had to be really quiet when we went into the studios, and I just wanted to take a couple of photographs. And obviously I had to watch out for the wires, and we had one of the managers that came round with us. Don't trip over the wires, make sure you put your feet over the wires. Mummy's French, yes.
Yeah, no, it's a polyelastane stretch that you've got there, so it's super stretchy.
He loved it and got to see how a live studio worked. We were back into central London now to start our 48 hours of what we were going to do and some exciting things planned. So this feels a bit weird because this is our first time in London. You think that when I left college, when I left sixth form, I joined Buxfizz and I was on the trains all the time, and then obviously then I was on my own solo artist, and I was up and down the country and all over the world. And then this time and then after that I then joined Bid and then I've been in TV for 12 years, but when I joined Bid, we haven't been into London now because of COVID for 3 years. I'm not living there anymore, so this feels like really exciting but a bit weird at the same time. So we're just at Gerrard's Cross, so this is near where my brother lives, and we've just got day passes with the underground. So because it's 3 years, so I stood on this very platform just before I had my own infusion, so we're going into London for the day. Where are you, Frankie Jack?
The London on the ground.
Right, come on. Go on. This one. Go on, there you go. So we've walked down King William Street to Monument, and as you get to Monument, which is there, you just come over slightly. And this is where Pudding Lane is, by the flight centre, but you can put it on your Google Maps if you wanted to. But we're about to go down Pudding Lane, and this is where the Great Fire of London started many, many years ago. And Frankie Jack has been studying this at school, so we thought we'd come down. Apparently my brother said there's some sort of tower you can go up. Don't know, never been here, and you can see and have a look at the bakery where it actually started. So we've just found this, haven't we, Frankie Jack? London's burning, fetch the engines, fire, 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 pour on water. Have you heard that before? That's where it comes from. Did you sing that at school? And then you've got a great big monument here, which is part of Monument, so you can go up and you can actually see. So we're going to go up here now and have a look. So what did you learn about the Great Fire of London? Tell me. It's what, sorry? Can you remember, when did it start?
In 1992.
1992?
Well, I think you better edit that one out. Thank you.
I've been learning about this in school. This is where the Great Fire of London started, and this is where the bakery was. It gets a little bit narrow.
Oh, it's just steps, doesn't it? It's getting very narrow now, isn't it? God, we're out of breath again now. We're nearly there. Go on, you tell us what you're going to see. Oh my God, we're not nearly there.
Here we are.
We are, Holly, go on. We've got a little badge as well saying Pudding Lane. Yeah. And that's for somebody's office at the top. I hate to do that every day. Blimey. Whoa, there's a fire alarm. My goodness, let's show you from the top. So, obviously you've got the River Thames. That's the Shard. We've been up there for afternoon tea. That's then the Tower of London. And then you've got London Bridge somewhere, but I can't think where that is. London Bridge is normally this side, so where is it? Oh, London Bridge there. That's London Bridge. So we're going to go over there in a minute because we're going to go to the Borough Market. We want to go to Tower Bridge. We're going to walk there and we're going to walk past. We're going to walk on the South Bank. And then apparently this monument, so at the top, can you see at the top? That's like it replicates the fire of London, and if you led the needle down, it actually goes, you won't be able to see it, but we've just shown it you a moment ago. There's a little plaque on the floor there, so if you lean the needle down on its side, it actually is the same length, and the top of it where the fire is actually touches that plaque, so it gives you the same distance from where the fire started. So that is where the fire started in the bakery that caused the Great Fire of London. Very interesting. This is the top. So do you want to walk around it, Frankie Jack? Are you scared? Silly Billy. Come on. Come on, hold Daddy's hand because we're going round it. Come on. Come on. Oh, there's an Uber boat. And that's St Paul's over there. That's the BT. I think because I don't know whether they still call it the BT Tower. BT Tower. Do they still call that the BT Tower?
That's the Gherkin, isn't it?
No, the BT. No, the Gherkin's there. It's behind you. The Gherkin's there. That's the Gherkin. St Paul's Cathedral. That's St Paul's Cathedral, isn't it? Frankie Jack, where St Paul's Cathedral is, that's where Mary Poppins was filmed.
I've got my Pudding Lane badge, and I thought the tower was too high.
So we've just come down and you actually get, let me just show one of those, so I've just put it back in my bag. You actually get a leaflet when you come down and it tells you all about it. The Great Fire was started on the 2nd of December 1666, and then this was built as a monument. So I didn't realise this was a monument for the Great Fire of London. Didn't realise that's why the tube station was called a monument. So it was put together, the architecture was Sir Christopher Wren, Surveyor General to King Charles II, and they started it in 1671 and finished it in 1677. You can see it's absolutely ginormous. Let me see if I can tip. Can you see? So that's where we've been up, and they attract like thousands of visitors, or millions of visitors, is it? Every year, I can't remember. Anyway, there's 311 steps to get up it. It was knackering.
So £4.50 to go up.
So actually, we've got to go and see the wooden thing that's round the other side, because they said just so interesting. I never even knew. Did anybody else? Leave a message in the comments below. Have you been there? Did you know about this? Because it was my brother that's just told me. Yeah, I've lived in London, been about in London for many years. Yeah, I was around from the age of 20, and then obviously I was south of the river, but I just can't believe I didn't even know about this. It's ridiculous. I knew about the Great Fire of London, but not about this. How huge it is. And that's where we've just been, up there.
You work that down on its side, the second it would touch that, where the bakery was burnt.
Yeah, where the Great Fire of
London was.
So the weather has turned pretty shoddy, which is a bit disappointing, but this is the Tower of London. I came down here a few years ago, well, it's quite a while ago now, when the poppies were out, and they had all the poppies in this bit. Gary's been doing a little bit of work at the Tower of London, and he had to go in there for his security check. So all of these here, and that one there, that's got a rooftop apartment. There's actually a TV programme on it now, but when Gary went in, they took him in all the living quarters as well. So a lot of people that work actually live in the Tower of London, so they have houses in the Tower of London, or flats, should I say. How cool is that? Unbelievable.
Look, if I did it, it bent.
It's bent, isn't it? It's a bit ruined. £5.99 down the drain, really, isn't it? You just got to keep it against the wind. So we've just walked down by Tower of London, and obviously we're just going to walk over the Tower Bridge and walk along the South Bank. We're going to go towards Borough Market because Gary and I are going to get something to eat, and then we booked Shrek World for 3 PM this afternoon. So we popped into the Ivy, that's at the bottom, so it's well worth noting if you come into London, at the bottom of Tower of London on south of the river. So we had a look at the Tower of London from outside, which of course you've just seen. We've walked across, it was that window, we've gone through 2 umbrellas, so we bought a second umbrella now. And we were going to go to Borough Market, which I highly recommend, It's like going to a Christmas market but all year round, and that's far superior, but because it's so wet and windy, we've had to come in. So this was the nearest port of call, so we've popped into the Ivy for something to eat. So I've ordered salmon, and Frankie Jack's got sausages, and Gary's got hamburger and chips. So we're having it. You've got sausages and mash. Eels. So I've got salmon with flaked almonds on a watercress and a tomato, and some green beans with a tomato pureed sauce. I've also got some broccoli, and then I've got some zucchini fritters. Gary's got a hamburger, and Frankie Jack has got his gravy on the side with his mash and the sausage. So where are you?
It's the Shrek
World. Come on, let's get going. Security scan. We've got to be scanned.
Please remove all your clothing and place it in the bin.
Yeah. Press it. Oh, they're doing a trolls tour. Find your beat. Frankie Jack, go and stand with some of the animals, look.
Find your beat, what?
Find your beat.
What beat? What does that mean?
What do you think about it? Beat to the song. You can have a picture with a troll. Filming wasn't allowed on the Shrek tour, which is understandable because obviously you don't want that going on YouTube and then people not going to enjoy the experience. I highly, highly recommend this. So if you're going to London, book it for the kids. It is so enjoyable, and it's enjoyable for everybody, not just the children. Gary and I loved it as well. So here we go. We've got Big Ben with the Houses of Parliament. How fab's that? Big Ben's looking really good because I think it's been sandblasted and painted. So last time we came, it actually had all the scaffolding up it. Now it's got it only further down. So when it's finished, it's going to look absolutely beautiful. So this is the Natural History Museum in all its glory, but the queue is extortionate for people getting in. It is free, but just make sure you've got your ticket before you arrive. Because on some days it does get fully booked enough. So this is where we've just been. So we're South Kensington now. This is where we're going to eat. Dakis, I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's got a real history and heritage. It's on Thurlow Street in South Kensington, the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea. So that's where it is. So this is Dakis, a Polish restaurant that we're in. I'll give you a little bit of background. So we've got the dumplings that they're very famous for. We've got goulash that Gary's ordered. I've got the veal meatballs. It's supposed to come with mashed potatoes, but I've asked for more veg. I've got cooked watercress, which tastes absolutely delicious, and we've also got a goat's cheese salad for all to share at. We've popped out to come to the National History Museum today, as I've just shown you, and unfortunately you've got to book to be able to go in it. So we're sat in a Polish restaurant now, and if you've recently seen the Profuma affair that was on television, which was so interesting, this is the restaurant where Christine Keeler and Yevgeny Ivanov, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, used to meet for dinner. It also is a place where film director Roman Polanski used to frequent this restaurant when he was filming. And he used to have goulash and dumplings, which is what Gary's just had. There was also a famous, I think it was the Prime Minister of Poland that used to come and write a lot of his stuff while sat in this restaurant. Just got a real lot of history. So we've just had a really lovely meal. The only thing that I don't like is I don't like paper napkins, and I don't like plastic tablecloths, and this has got it. That's the only thing that I don't like. I get a bit funny with restaurants like that. But apart from that, the food was absolutely delicious. I had some spinach, and I just asked how they cooked it, and they just pan fried it with a little bit of oil and garlic. Oh my gosh, it was so delicious. Really, really delicious. So we're about to go to the the Tower of London now, which we were there yesterday, we didn't go. So we're going there today because it's not raining, and I'm hoping it's not going to start to rain because most of it's outside. We've got the brolly today.
It's it most of the same.
Oh, it is if you're going to see the crown jewels, so that's where we're going today. Back on the tube, back out to the Tower of London to be able to do our tour around it. Very excited.
I think
Yeah, where are we going?
in there, I'm going around the whole entire thing.
Where are we going?
In there,
What's it called?
London Adventure.
No, what's it called? What's it called?
I don't know.
Tower of London? Or the Bloody Tower?
This is weird.
Why is it weird?
Because it's a really weird voice.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are we going to put the family tour on? Is that one you want to do?
Well, yeah, but I'm just listening.
Okay. Ooh, sorry. And this is the kind of thing that you see when you're going around the Tower of London. This is King Edward's I's bedroom, and this is all the original stuff from the walls. And it's just incredible, isn't it, that you get to see all this. Is Henry III's room, and they reckon, if I've got this information right, was it Gary? Was it Henry III or the Henry VI? Henry III. The important room was separated from the small chapel. So they reckon that Henry III was stabbed in there. They said he died of melancholy, but they reckon he was stabbed in there. So this is the largest building in the Tower of London, and this is William the Conqueror's White Tower. But in the olden days, there was a huge building in front of this, which you see here, and you can see the remains here. There was lots of feasts and the big kitchens and big banquets that used to go on here, but obviously that part of the Tower of London is no longer there. So in this behind me, the Whitechapel, Anne Boleyn was sent to trial, and it was only 3 years previous that she'd married him and done all her coronation. She was brought through Traitor's Gate for a coronation, and that's where it all started. And then she was brought through Traitor's Gate for being a traitor, and obviously she wasn't. He just wanted to see his third wife, didn't he? And were loads of stuff. She couldn't prove it, although she'd have been completely innocent. I've no doubt about it. And he started to see his third wife the day after he beheaded her. What a lovely man. The pub down there is called the Keys, and it's the oldest pub in the world, and it's used by the yeomen. I think there's 34 or 35 of them that live on site, and they spend sometimes New Year's Eve in there as well. Spike, the beefeater that was in the television programme. So this is Henry VIII's suit of armour when he was a young boy, and it showed on his skirt that he was in love, because it said H for Henry and K for Catherine. He was married to her for 24 years, but because she couldn't produce a son, he left her, and that's why he went and married Anne Boleyn. So it's a real sort of tragedy, really, is the story. Look at that. There's loads of suits of armour in here, you can see. This makes me giggle. Oh my word.
Show off.
It's a bit of a show off, wasn't it? This is Henry Stuart's The Lost Prince armour. And King Charles I. So this is 6'8", so it's an armour, the biggest armour that's ever been made, against the smallest armour that's ever been made, and that was made for a 5-year-old, and they think that could have been made for one of the kings. They call it the Dwarf and the Giant. This was built by William the Conqueror, so they could have their religious services in the Whitechapel. It's pretty extraordinary. Frankie Jack's brought us in. Tell us about it.
So if you took that plastic off, the poo and the wee would have dropped down onto the grass down there.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Can you imagine coming to the toilet here?
Yeah.
It's got cannons and all sorts in here. Flipping Nora. Oh God. Look at what they had. Gee. This was outside the Crown Jewels, and you see the guards marching up and down. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to take my camera in, so we don't have any footage from inside, but it was pretty spectacular. So these monkeys look real as you turn the corner, but this is called Martin's Tower, and that's where they originally kept the Crown Jewels before somebody called Captain Blood came and tried to pinch them, and that's when they moved them. 1868 it happened. You can hear Gary in the background. So we're just heading out now to go back and to give our devices in. I do believe these devices are well worth your money. We do them a lot when we go on tours. So sometimes when you have a tour guide, sometimes they speak too quickly, or you don't hear a bit that they say, and then you feel a bit embarrassed asking them to repeat it. So for me, we always get these, and actually Frankie Jack's enjoying getting these kind of things and switching over, going, "Have you done it, Mummy? We're moving to the next room." And, "Mummy, did you just hear that?" So he's enjoying it. Just seeing the Crown Jewels. Not allowed to take my phone in there. Absolutely whopping. Unbelievable. £2.5 bag of sugar the crown weighs, but the Queen hasn't worn it for the last 3 years due to it being a little bit heavy on her neck. It should really be for Prince Charles, because it's supposed to reign for 100 years or 3 monarchs, and I think it was her dad's previous to hers. But the arches were slightly higher, and they sort of brought them down a little bit for Queen Elizabeth. However, if Prince Charles is to take it, they can't manoeuvre them back up because it's been too long. So I don't know what we're going to do. It's not too windy for you to hear. But the Crown Jeweller was in the other week having a look, and he's on call 365 days a year for no money at all. No extra money for being on call, but that's obviously, and he was in there just checking everything over the other week. So, and she uses it at the state opening of Parliament every single year. Like I say, the last 3 years she hasn't had it on her head, so it gets used quite a lot. I didn't realise that. That was such a good trip and such a good 48 hours in London. We really enjoyed it. Hope you did too. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. So it might give you a few tips and tricks if you are going into London this summer with the kids, or maybe even later on in the year. Don't forget, we would love to have your comments. So leave your comments in the section below. If you've got anything to add for any other families that you've done that you absolutely loved and was well worth a go, and we would love that thumbs up. It makes such a difference. And of course, the best thing is to press that subscribe button, because you can do that for free. I'll see you on the next vlog. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you later.